What is up, you sexy ass motherfuckers? Welcome back to Season 7's Total War League Siege Battles. I am covering Group B, if you guys did not know. And if you guys want to see more of the content from Group B, including the mighty Rice Enjoyers, then make sure to check out my YouTube playlist. I'll try to leave a link down in the description below. In this battle, we are going to be watching Gallici Corvi on the attack versus Rice Enjoyers on the defense. This battle is going to be truly incredible. Guys, if you like this video at all, make sure to hit that like button. It helps me out a lot. Lets me know that my content isn't complete shite. Also helps me out with that YouTube algorithm. If you guys also like the video, or if you guys love the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a lot, lets me know that my content isn't complete shite, and really gives me the motivation to continue to make these videos for you guys. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and start off with some of the army compositions. Alrighty, guys, as is tradition, always, we are going to start off with the attackers' army compositions. Again, in this case, the attacker is going to be Gallici Corvi. They're going to go ahead and be bringing Seleucid, bringing in Thoreo Spears, Hillman, Thorax Swordsman, 4 units of Syrian Heavy Archers, and a couple of Silver Shield Swordsmen. These beautiful, beautiful lads, clad in the white, red, and gold painting armor, whatever it might be, with their golden beards as well, looking absolutely stunning. I love the colors of Seleucid. They look amazing, but in truth, I really love the colors and everything of any of the units. Looking over at the next composition, we've got Egypt. We've got some Carrion Axemen, Thorax Swordsmen, Mercenary Cretan Archers, Nubian Bowmen. We've got some Thoreos Spears, not Levy Thoreos Spears. Very interesting. We've got a Royal Thorax Swordsman General, another Royal Thorax Swordsman, but this time representing a different color scheme. The Egyptian color scheme. But yeah, bringing a lot of Thorax Swordsmen, but we also have a unit of Galatian Royal Guard. Lots of elites in this battle. Lots of mid-tier, lots of elites, lots of killing power. Will it be enough for them to win this battle, or will it cause them their ultimate demise? And they're also going to be bringing 1 unit of artillery as well, brought to you by the Egyptian side. Looking at the defenders composition, we've got Chimeria. Great faction. I'm sorry, not Chimeria. This is Massalia. My bad. We've got Massalia bringing Thorax Swordsmen, Mercenary Gallic Warriors, or I'm sorry, Mercenary Gallic Hunters. We've got Massilian Theros or Thoreos Spears, a great unit, very powerful unit, going to be able to do a lot of work in this battle. And just lots and lots of Thorax Swordsmen and Thoreos Spears. Last but certainly not least, we've got Nabatea. Very, very powerful faction. Love to see it. We've got some armored desert hoplites. Oh, I'm sorry. I almost skipped the Massilian General as well. We've got the Massilian Cavalry General. A mid-tier cavalry that's going to be able to do a decent amount of work against any enemy cavalry that they could have brought but didn't bring, as well as getting a lot of flanking charges and hopefully getting into some archers as well. Nabatea is also going to be bringing their famous Nabatean Heavy Archers. Very, very powerful archer unit. Probably my favorite archer unit in the game. They are going to be able to do a lot of work. But yeah, lots of armored desert hoplites. We've also got a Nabatean Noble Cavalry General, a very, very powerful general unit, going to be able to charge in and hopefully get a lot of kills. We've got a Scorpion as well, but lots of hoplites and a few Nabatean Axe Warriors as well as a couple units of Desert Levy. Over here, we've got the Seleucid player moving up to the tower, trying to stop some of this archer fire from being shot into their hillmen as they run up to the wall, walk up to the wall, pushing this extremely tall, extremely heavy piece of machinery. I mean, the tortoise. Just imagine having this giant battering ram marching towards a wall that you're standing on top of. Realistically, I don't think it would crumble the entire wall. I think it would just create like some awkward hole towards on the top. But still a really cool piece of machinery to see, even if it doesn't necessarily seem realistic. Let me know down in the comments below, was this actually used in history? Was this an actual, was this a thing? Because it just seems really highly unlikely. We've got a pyramid with a giant stick on top to be able to break down a wall, but it's on the very top, so it's only going to affect the very top of the wall and not necessarily the stability of the entire wall. I mean, I guess it could be useful for keeping enemy units from being on top of the wall and shooting down at you, and maybe taking a couple of lives along with it. But overall, it just does not seem like it would be very effective historically. But I suppose in Rome 2, they did need something in order to be able to balance it a little bit for the attackers. And it's really cool to see a giant battering ram basically breaking down a wall. Amazing to see. Over here, we've got the Desert Levy just kind of giving a little bit of a tease to the local hillmen, now sallying out to be able to try and stop these hillmen from being able to continue to push up these tortoises and continue to break their walls. They're just going to go ahead and move up and harass their opponents here. But now it looks like the Desert Levy has changed their mind. They are going to go ahead and get the hell out of dodge. They're going to fall back behind this tortoise and try to get back inside of the wall, or they're going to go back out. I'm really confused. You can see the arrows of them frantically moving their unit out. I think maybe they're trying to utilize this tortoise to try and get the hillmen to waste their ammunition, continuing to go back and forth, but their opponent knows this trick, and they're going to go ahead and get one of their volleys off. They're going to go ahead and move in, charge into these hillmen, try to keep them from being able to throw their Pila of Destiny, but now we've got another unit of hillmen charging in from behind. They're going to be able to use their Pila and quickly take out this Desert Levy, or they can go ahead and charge in from behind and quickly break these Desert Levy. They only have 25 base morale, so they won't hold on for too long, and Egypt is going to go ahead and send in their Egyptian infantry to completely surround this Desert Levy and take it out. We've got this Desert Levy surrounded by 3 different units. They are not going to be long for this battle at all, and they are already breaking. They are already shattered at 104 men remaining, and they're going to go ahead and get the hell out of dodge, get the hell out of this battle. Over here, we've got a large gap in the wall. We've got both Seleucid and Egypt actually pushing up a couple of units of tortoises to be able to break or create a large choke point in this wall and give them an opportunity to be able to start moving into the settlement. We've got some brave or stupid Desert Levy right here on the front line. They're going to go ahead and decide to retreat against so much reckless hate, fall back and try to take a little bit of ammunition for those Axe Warriors. They're going to go ahead and retreat, reform, and get ready for the epic battle that is going to ensue. We've got the Hillmen actually chasing down the Desert Levy, just trying to get as many kills as they can, bringing up that kill count in the Total War League to be able to bring up their stats as well. But now we've got the Hillmen charging into the settlement, getting ready to be able to start fighting against this Desert Levy and start off this epic engagement for this settlement. I cannot for the life of me remember what this settlement is called, but man, is it an epic one. It looks absolutely stunning, as Rome 2 does. Unlike some newer games. Pharaoh, let me know what you guys think about Pharaoh down in the comments below. I am not going to get it. I'm not excited for it. There's a couple of cool mechanics, but other than that, it just looks like a reskinned Total War Troy. If you guys want me to make a video on my reaction to the trailer of Pharaoh, I can, but because everybody else is already doing it, I just kind of thought I don't really want to join the crowd in that one. I'm more than willing to let you guys know that I don't care for it, but making a video on it, I'd rather bring you guys this epic video, this epic content, watching these guys just just swing swords at each other and just try to absolutely massacre the other. The Desert Levy is fighting valiantly, trying to hold off this infantry for as long as they can. The attackers have actually taken control of the defenders' towers, so they are going to use that to their advantage and try to get as many kills with that tower as possible. The Desert Levy, in this case, does not stand a chance. It is a battle of the shiniest turd, a battle of the shittiest unit, and that guy just flipped that man over his shield. He is a strong mother trucker. Holy smokes, did not even give him a chance. At that point, I would be embarrassed too. I don't even know if that guy's dead. He's just embarrassed that he got flipped over the shield by this super strong man that was able to flip basically the same body weight as them directly over them and just slam them on the ground. I do not blame that Desert Levy at all for not getting back up. But now the Desert Levy is starting to break. Having fought pretty valiantly, though. 52 kills on a unit of Desert Levy. A, what, 180 gold unit or something like that? A or 120 gold? Something like that. One of the cheapest units in the game, actually managing to get some kills. Not bad at all. And they are still wavering. They have not broken quite yet. Very impressive. Over on this side, it looks like Nabatea is still holding this gatehouse. It's taken a little bit of damage. It looks like Egypt has actually utilized some of their artillery ammo to be able to get rid of one of these towers, to be able to minimize the amount of damage that can be done to their troops that are going to be landing on the wall and moving down this roadway. The towers can win you games. Those towers have so much firing potential and can get so many kills. I mean, over here, they're also getting some kills on these hillmen as well, which are pushing up a ram to be able to knock down this gate and take this tower and try to stop this tower from being able to shoot at them. Over here, we've got the Nabatean Axe Warriors charging into what's left of this hillman, but now we've got the Egyptian infantry in a prime location to be able to get a lot of pila off on these Nabatean Axe Warriors, utilize the rest of their ammo. They are at 84 kills so far. Utilize the rest of their ammo into these Axe Warriors and get as many kills as they possibly can. Great charge there by the Egyptian infantry, charging in before the Nabatean Axe Warriors could finish off their battle and get a counter charge off. Now they're going to go ahead and fall back in favor of bringing up some more of their mid-tier, more heavily armored thorax swordsmen. These guys are the meat and bones of almost any army. They're going to be able to move in and use a lot of Pila, and now that the Axe Warriors are turning their back, they are going to take a lot of losses from the Pila. They're going to go ahead and swap out with another unit of Nabatean Axe Warriors, which is going to go ahead and charge right into these Thorax Swordsmen, which are going to go ahead and countercharge, try to get that charge bonus off, and do as much damage to each other as possible. The Axe Warriors do have a slight advantage, I believe, as far as armor-piercing capability, but I think that these guys actually have a little bit more damage output. Yep, the Axe Warriors have 35, and the Thorax Swordsmen have 38, so slightly more damage output, but especially with that Archer Fire going into the shield side of these Thorax Swordsmen, not necessarily the most prime position, but a great position for them to be able to get some kills and hopefully knock out this Thorax Swordsman from the battlefield. Over on this side, we actually have some archers that have been moved up. We've got Gallic Hunters looking to be able to get some flanking fire on these Thorax Swordsmen while the attackers don't have any archer support over on this side. They're trying to get a really good angle, really good shot for these Gallic Warriors, or I'm sorry, Gallic Hunters. They are not warriors, they are hunters. The Gallic Hunters trying to get a really good shot, a nice little flanking shot as well. It may be shield side, but it is slightly on the flank, so they should be able to get a decent amount of kills. And now the archer fire shall reign true and get a lot of kills. Now we've got the, I thought it was over on this side. That would have been huge if he was breaking down this wall over here against the Nabatean Axe Warriors. Oh, the amount of kills that they could have gotten. But they are actually going to go ahead and cause a hole to form over on this side to start trying to flank these Nabatean Axe Warriors, which are slowly being shipped away by these Thorax Swordsmen. 86 kills so far with 92 men remaining. Even with the Archer Fire, I'm afraid that these Axe Warriors might not be able to hold on indefinitely. But we do have some Egyptian Thorax Swordsman ready to move in and swap with this Seleucid Thorax Swordsman at a moment's notice to be able to get that charge bonus off and try to get as many kills as they possibly can. And we've got a Massilian Thoreo Spear moving in to be able to try and get some great fire in on the sword side of these Thorax Swordsmen and just try to support their Nabatean brothers in arms as much as they possibly can. They are ready to throw in, but they're hesitant. They've got their brothers at arms directly in front of them, so it's making it a little harder for them to be able to get a shot on these guys. It looks like the attackers are actually utilizing their archery capabilities, trying to get a shot off on the Axe Warriors. A great move by the defenders, really playing cat and mouse with that archer fire, forcing them to waste ammo and get a little bit more in the way of friendly fire against their Thorax Swordsmen, just moving back and forth and forcing the attackers to either make the decision to stop firing or risk getting a lot of friendly fire on their Thorax Swordsmen. The archers are still nearby. We got Syrian heavy archers. We don't have a counter for them, so they are free to rain hellfire upon these forces, and they are going to do just that, firing directly into the shield side and the flank of these Nabatean Axe warriors. And we've got the Massilian Thoreau spears getting a great flanking shot on these thorax swordsmen, a great target for those Thoreau spears. 39 kills so far, just trying to let loose as much ammo as they can. But they are the only ones currently holding this pathway. There is a choke point. There is a point where they can come and get completely surrounded here. So they're going to have to be very, very careful. They need to send some troops to be able to hold the line, but they don't really have anything nearby. They have a unit of thorax swordsmen that's quickly moving up. We've got a unit of Nabatean heavy archers that's moving up, but is it going to be soon enough? They were lucky enough to be able to spread their unit to keep them from being able to flank them. So luckily, they're going to be able to move in this thorax swordsman, line them up, and block this way. So that way, the Massilian Thoreau spears can still rain hellfire upon their opponents. And the Nabatean archers are trying to do whatever they can to be able to stop the Syrian heavy archers from being able to get such great shots on the side and on the flank of their opponents. You can see more archer fire beginning to fly into these Gallic hunters. They are outclassed in this case, being fired at by the mercenary Cretan archers. A great target for those Cretan archers. The Gallic hunters are going to quickly get the hell out of dodge before they are completely and utterly taken out. The arrows are going to go ahead and let loose at least one last volley, take a couple of these Gallic hunters down before they are able to get out of range, and now they are hidden. Over on this side, we've got a unit of thorax swordsmen fighting against another unit of Nabatean axe warriors. Just trying to do what I can to be able to push that past this point and get into this gatehouse. We've got a second unit of Nabatean axe warriors going onto the wall to be able to take out this hillman, so that way they can hopefully push back these thorax swordsmen and retake this gate, so that way this tower can start firing into their opponents. Great moves by the defending forces. The attackers have another unit of thorax swordsmen close by to be able to let loose their javelins and try and get as many kills as they possibly can against their opponents. We've even got the... Is this Hillman? Is this a Hillman that was outside on the gate? We've got this unit of Hillman actually moving down and flanking around these Nabatean Axe Warriors. We've got a little bit of a buggy unit situation over here. This Axe Warrior is trying to do whatever they can to stop them. The Hillmen are shattered. They are going to go ahead and get out of here, but that unit was really struggling there because they're on the wall as well as trying to fight against a depleted unit of Hillmen trying to flank around their troops. We got another unit of depleted Nabatean Axe Warriors with 17 kills and 30-something men remaining, moving into the fray to be able to support their brothers in arms. But will it be enough to hold the line? Only time will tell. Looking over at this side, we've got wow, I'm not really quite sure what happened. We've got a unit of thorax swordsmen now showing their back to a potential archer fire, but it looks like the archers of Seleucid has been moved. They could not withstand the might of the Nabatean heavy archers firing upon them, so they are going to go ahead and fall back, allowing this thorax swordsman to be able to continue and chop down at the Egyptian thorax swordsman. We've got the silver boys, the medium boys? I don't know what to call thorax swordsmen. I got to come up with a nickname for these guys. But a battle of the medium tier infantry. These guys are fighting against each other, allowing their archers to be able to get a nice flanking fire shot on them. This thorax swordsman is going to continue to chase them down and try to get as many kills as they possibly can, and now flanking around a unit of depleted thorax swordsmen to quickly break them, free up this front line, and allow them to kind of reform the line and get this thorax swordsman behind enemy lines back into the front. But a great move by the defenders, really utilizing this opportunity and just getting a lot of kills, taking out a lot of units that have been really causing them trouble during this game. Over on this side, we got Nabatean heavy archers. It looks like they were trying to fight against the mercenary Cretan archers, getting some good kills against them, but they have just been absolutely focused down. We've got a unit of Nabatean Axe Warriors retreating, having been completely focused down by the archer fire, and there's really not much that these heavy archers can do. Are they a great archer unit? They are indeed, but against that much heavy archer fire, it's going to be really hard for them to be able to defend themselves and defend those that are around them. Luckily, they've moved up a unit of armored desert hoplites, still showing their spear side. They're going to take a lot of damage from that archer fire, but they are more heavily armored, bringing forth 90 armor, so they should be able to tank just a little bit more of that archer fire than their thorax swords brethren with only 75 armor right behind them. trying to do whatever they can to be able to throw Pila. These Axe Warriors are still fighting the the Hillmen up here on the wall. I'm actually surprised that the Hillmen are still fighting, still alive. They've been holding off much longer than I would have ever expected them to do. So well done to the Seleucid Hillmen, doing a great job of holding off the Nabatean Axe Warriors and just causing a huge distraction. And we even have a Thorax Swordsman unit coming in through the gate, surrounding this unit of Nabatean Axe Warriors, and that could potentially cause a break. This Thorax Swordsman unit needs to quickly get in there. There we go. Quickly get into that Thorax Swords and just completely surround them. Try to get as much damage off as they possibly can. And now they have the Thorax Swordsman completely surrounded. But there are so many archer units over here. We've got one, not two, not three, but 4 different archers over here just raining hellfire upon their opponents, and they are all full. They are all at 120 out of 120 men, ready to be able to fire their hearts out into this great position and just get as many kills as they possibly can. The Thorax Swordsmen are going to reform, allowing their brothers to be able to get slightly flanked and shot at right in the butt while they're trying to fight and save their Nabatean Axe Warrior brethren, but they're going to reform and show their fronts to the archers, so that way they hopefully won't take nearly as much damage from the archer fire. Over on this side, we've got the Syrian heavy archers moving back into position, trying to get some good fire into these Thorax Swordsmen and into the Massilian Thorough Spears, with 93 kills now breaking against the Pila fire of the Hillmen and the archer fire of the Syrian heavy archers. But on the front line, we've still got a Thorax Swordsman valiantly holding the front line and just trying to get as many kills as possible to be able to hold this settlement for their wives, for their children who wish to just live in peace in a state of constant total war. Got lots of Hillman fire going into these Thorax Swordsmen, getting a lot of kills. They're going to go ahead and fall back. It looks like they're actually going to go ahead and swap with another unit of Thorax Swordsmen. These guys are winded. These other Thorax Swordsmen are fresh, so they're going to go ahead and swap out and just try to continue to get as many kills as they possibly can and hold back their enemies, while also allowing the Armored Desert Hoplites to now take the charge of these Thorax Swordsmen. Lots of Pila fire going into the front of these Thorax Swordsmen. Are they going to charge forward, or are they just going to hold and just hold off for as long as they possibly can to waste the Pila fire of the Hillmen? 60 kills with Hillmen on medium tier infantry, and they still have Pila fire somehow. Not bad at all. A great use of Hillmen. See, you should never throw away your cheap units because they can always get some good kills. I think these Syrian archers actually still have ammo. This is a great opportunity if the Massilian Thorough Spears need to quickly start throwing their Pila into these archers while they're on the front lines, because if they start doing that, beautiful. They're going to be able to get a lot of kills against this clumping of archers and hopefully stop the rain of hellfire that they have been providing. Over here, the Nabatean Axe Warriors are still holding with 69 giggity units left. Very tired, but still holding against the mighty Thorax Swordsman. We need one of these archers, the Gallic Hunters, to potentially get into a good angle to start firing into the sword side of these Thorax Swordsmen and getting a lot of kills. But they are most likely afraid of the absolute chunk, the absolute clump of archers that are inside of their city now, firing into their troops. Actually firing into the Nabatean heavy archers now, I believe. Yep, trying to take them out so that way their Seleucid ally, the Syrian heavy archers on the outskirts of the walls over here, can start to move their archers into a better position and get some great fire into their opponents. The Scorpion's actually raining hellfire now as well, having 38 kills so far, finding some nice juicy targets down this roadway, just trying to get as many kills as they possibly can. But I love the sound of this Scorpion. It is just silent but deadly, like a nice juicy wet fart, absolutely decimating those that stand in front of them in their range. And it is a beautiful sight to see. Over on this side, we've got the Thorax Swordsman holding off, actually breaking this Hillman with 70 kills, getting a decent amount of kills against medium tier infantry. A great use of Hillman again. And then the Thorax Swordsman actually is now swapping with another unit of Thorax Swordsmen, trying to keep everybody fresh, trying to keep them getting as many kills as they possibly can. We've got a unit of Thorax Swordsmen with 62 men remaining, having 167 kills, doing a great job of just racking up kills and mowing down their opponent's troops. But the Hillmen have not broken yet. They are going to fight their hearts out and try to get as many kills as possible. And again, he just got flipped over the shield and embarrassed. He is going to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Now we've got a fresh unit of Thorax Swordsmen moving into the fray against this weakened unit of Armored Desert Hoplites, really utilizing that charge capability to get some good kills. Now we got the Massilian Thero Spears going in to these Thorax Swordsmen, just trying to give their allied Thorax Swordsmen a little bit of a reprieve from the surrounding, from the beating that they have taken. They are going to go ahead and start breaking, but now that the Massilian Thero Spears are there, they should hopefully be able to hold this front line for just a little longer. There is a gap that the attackers could potentially use to get around this flank and get into the backs of these Thero Spears and Armored Desert Hoplites, but at risk of losing more troops to flanking fire from both Nabatea and from Massalia. Looking over at the gate, it looks like we've got some Thorax Swordsmen still fighting their hearts out against a couple of units. We got a Massilian Thoreo Spear, as well as you need a Thorax Swordsman just holding this front line, showing their backs. A very strange tactic with those Massilian Thero Spears. They are not afraid. They're trying to use pure tactics against these Silver Shield Swordsmen, showing that they are not afraid, showing off their ass, and letting them know that their badonkadonk is much larger than that of their opponents. But now the Massilian Thero Spears are going to fall back, get away from those Silver Shield Swordsmen, which have 0 losses and 42 kills so far, getting some great fire into these Armored Desert Hoplites and these Thorax Swordsmen. I would almost pull back your Armored Desert Hoplites a little bit while the depleted Thorax Swordsmen continue to hold. Reform them right here so that way you're not taking as much side fire from these Javelins. And just reform right there so that way you're just kind of in a little bit of a better position and protected by these two buildings here. Not allowing your opponents to be able to get around the sides or do what the Silver Shield Swordsman is doing and firing their javelins directly into the side of these Armored Desert Hoplites, given it is into the shield side of these Armored Desert Hoplites, but still into the side. And now we've got the Mercenary Cretan Archers just kind of front dumping these Thorax Swordsmen, these Armored Desert Hoplites, just trying to get rid of them so they can move further into the settlement. Looking at the balance of power, it is slightly in favor of the attackers, but that is to be expected. It always is until something big happens. So nothing major has changed yet. Over here, the balance of power, I would say it's probably about 40% in favor of the defenders, 60%, maybe even like 38% in favor of the defenders, 62% in favor of the attackers, but that does not mean anything yet. The archer fire is still continuing to rain down upon their opponents, but for how much longer? How much longer can they afford to spend their arrows on the targets in front of them before they eventually run out and it forces their opponents to just... Oh man, these Silver Shield Swordsmen are taking a lot of fire. Now the Massilian Thero Spears are going to throw into them as they're retreating. A great target. Great use of your projectiles from the defending forces. Really doing a lot of damage to these guys. A few arrows have missed, but definitely worth it overall. Looking over at this side, we've got the Thorax Swordsmen, which have seen victory so far. The Hillmen, which are still alive with 64 men remaining, 77 kills. I have no idea how this Hillman is still fighting, is still standing strong. It is truly incredible. And we've got the Eastern Scorpions still firing into these clumps of units, trying to get as many kills as they possibly can in this great settlement. But we have a depleted unit of Thorax Swordsmen here on the front line, about to take a charge, a counter charge against these Thoreo Spears, and just try and hold back their opponents for as long as they possibly can, completely enveloping these Thoreo Spears, but now giving the Thorax Swordsmen an opportunity to be able to throw their javelins into their enemy Thorax Swordsmen and get as many kills as they possibly can. It looks like the Scorpion is focusing down these Thorax Swordsmen, which is a great target because it can just mow down this line and get a lot of kills if it really wanted to. So a great target for that Scorpion. Now the Thorax Swordsmen are going to go ahead and charge in, get their charge bonus off, swap out with the Thoreo Spears, go in with their allied Thorax Swordsmen and try to get as many kills as possible and just finally break this unit of Thorax Swordsmen, which has just been causing them so many issues. The 123 kills, keeping their mighty Hillmen in reserve, saving them for a later date. These Hillmen deserve a rest. They are fresh, 77 kills, and still holding. Usually at this point, you do not see any Hillmen left, but they are still holding. And now we've got the Massilian Thero Spears with 50 kills so far, charging into the Thorax Swordsmen. The dual Thorax Swordsmen of Egypt just trying to get as many kills as they possibly can, hold back their opponent, and just try to stop this just absolute bloodshed, this bloodfest. Wait, oh, at first I thought the Nabatean Axe Warriors were still holding, but no, the Thorax Swordsmen are actually going to take a decent beating here. The Archer Fire is going to go into these Thorax Swordsmen that are still on the wall, and just try to take them out so that way they can't deal any damage to their opponents and just get them out of here. And as they're retreating, they're going to take even more damage. But now the Thorax Swordsman is going to go ahead and march down this wall, march all the way along, go down to the flank, and potentially capture this gatehouse. If they can capture this gatehouse before the Nabatean general realizes it, then the Nabatean general could take losses from their own gatehouse. I didn't even realize that Seleucid brought a unit of Median Cavalry. Median Cavalry just sitting there, staring off through the trees at this Nabatean Noble Cavalry, daring them to charge in and try and fight them in one-on-one combat, because they do have a unit of Galatian Royal Guard that still has Pila nearby and can do a lot of damage against the Nabatean general. We've got a unit of Thorax Swordsmen from Massilia actually going back over here to be able to stop this unit of Thorax Swordsmen from Seleucid from being able to capture this gate and deal damage to their general. Great comradeship by Massilia. These guys are doing a great job of working together and just holding this settlement. But now over here, we've got Armored Desert Hoplites holding against the Thorax Swordsmen. If they have any more Thoreo Spears, now is the time. This is a weird position for these Armored Desert Hoplites. I'm not really quite sure what's going on over here or why their opponents aren't just completely surrounding this, because that is a free kill. But if they have any Thoreo Spears, now is the time to move them up, because not only is it on the side of these Desert Hoplites, but it's on the spear side of these Desert Hoplites, so they'll be able to get a lot of kills. So they need to move up archers, they need to move up Thoreo Spears, they need to move up something to be able to just fire into these Armored Desert Hoplites, because they can melt them pretty easily right here. We've got the archers firing into the sword side of the Thorax Swordsman, just trying to get as many kills as possible, and with one of the towers actually putting a lot of fire into these Thorax Swordsmen, it was a good idea for them to be able to get out of there before they took too many losses. They're going to fall back and await a better opportunity. But now we've got archer fire going into these Nabatean heavy archers. They are heavy archers. They are heavily armored, so that first volley is going to do much. But with the constant blackening of the sky, with the constant rain of arrows going into this unit, they are not going to be able to hold off for long, and they are becoming weaker and weaker with every volley. They need to quickly either get out of there or start returning fire into these archers, but they're going to go ahead and turn around, get out of dodge, and get back into a safer position where they might be able to get some additional kills. I don't really know how, but somehow these Thoreo Spears have... What? How did these Thoreo Spears get behind... This unit of Thoreo Spears somehow got behind enemy lines and actually went into... the archers of Nabatea, and these archers are completely exposed. We need the Thorax Swordsmen to quickly turn around and deal with these Thoreo Spears before they're able to wreak too much havoc into these archers. These archers are getting melted by the Thoreo Spears. Massilia, quick, run! Get your units into there! Oh my goodness, and now the Gallic Hunters are taking the fight, and the Thorax Swordsmen are just marching. They are not running. They enjoy seeing their allied archers die from a unit that somehow snuck around. I have no idea what happened in this fight, but luckily these Thorax Swordsmen realize that they need to quickly get in there, take out these Thoreo Spears before they're able to do much more damage. But a great move. I have no idea. I was not paying attention. I have no idea how the Thoreo Spear got behind enemy lines, but they did, and they were able to get a decent amount of archer kills. Not bad at all for a depleted Thoreo Spear unit. Over on the front lines, the attackers have done a great job of positioning their Thorax Swordsman up here on the wall to be able to throw javelins into the tops and backs of the Armored Desert Hoplites, doing a lot of damage. And we've got a unit of Carrion Axemen firing into these Armored Desert Hoplites as well, just trying to do as much damage as they possibly can. But some great positioning by the attackers. These Armored Desert Hoplites are going to certainly take a beating. We got the Thorax Swordsmen still holding the front line valiantly, holding off against some depleted units of Thorax Swordsmen. They should be able to win this fight. But what will the attackers move up to be able to continue this fight? We've got some Thoreo Spears that have yet to use their armor moving into the front line. Maybe they finally see the opportunity to be able to get some great side shots into these Armored Desert Hoplites. Hopefully they can get in range and really make this work. Over here in the gatehouse, we got a unit of Massilian Thoreo Spears, which is quickly starting to fall. They are breaking with 28 men remaining. We've got another unit of Massilian Thureo spears that I can only assume has used up all of their ammo, and now in square formation, trying to give the Massilian Thureo spears as well as the Thorax swordsmen that hopefully still have Pila left over a good opportunity to be able to get some great flanking fire. We got some Syrian heavy archers that are out of ammo with 126 kills, moving back towards the gate, trying to goad their opponent's archers into firing into them. Do these Gallic hunters still have ammo? They have their swords out, so I can only assume that they don't have ammo. These Gallic hunters with 71 kills still have ammo as well, and the Nabatean archers still have ammo, still firing into their opponents, trying to get as many kills as they possibly can. Over on the front line, we've got a Thorax swordsman that has actually used the gap that their opponents have given to them. We've got the Carrion Axeman quickly charging into them to be able to stop them from being able to flank around, as well as a depleted unit of Thorax swordsmen trying to completely surround them. Will these Thorax swordsmen be able to hold for long enough to take out these Carrion Axemen, or will they fall? They're going to go ahead and retreat, get to a better position. They realize that flank isn't going to necessarily work out in their favor, so they're going to go ahead and fall back and get into a better position. We've got the hoplites in hoplite wall ready to be able to defend this wall, repositioning themselves in case their opponents decide to charge in this unit of Thorax swordsmen. We've got the general unit of Silver Shield swordsmen, presumably activating any and all abilities that they possibly can on their troops that are on the front line, just trying to give them that extra killing power that they need to be able to break through the lines. The Thorax swordsmen and the hoplites of the defenders are holding valiantly, but for how long? How long can they hold? Only time can tell. We've got just so many units, seemingly endless amount of bodies, just continuously pushing into the front line, trying to get as many kills as they possibly can. We actually have that unit of Hillman that we saw previously now moving into the front line. We've got the Turds now moving in against the mighty Desert Hoplites, trying to charge in and get as many kills as they possibly can before they ultimately fall, giving the Thorax swordsmen and elite unit brothers at arms a chance to be able to recoup, freshen up, and move back into the fight fresher than ever and with a thirst for revenge and bloodshed. Over on the front line here, we still got this unit of Massilian Thureo spears with 110 kills fighting against this unit of Thorax swordsmen, now having second wind popped on them by a nearby general. We've got the Egyptian Royal Thorax swordsmen popping abilities on these troops, again, just trying to get as many kills as possible. We've got a huge clumping of troops. You don't need this many troops in the front line, though. It's just going to give your opponents more time, more of a chance for the tower to kill more of your troops, and also going to tire out way more troops than is possibly necessary. We've got a unit of Thorax swordsmen that it looks like they did actually move up and take care of this depleted Thorax swordsman before they were able to take the gate and start dealing damage to the Nabatean general. The Nabatean general actually has 10 kills and 76 men remaining. I'm curious, what did they fight against? What did they charge against? It looks like they had a little bit of a battle here. It was a slight battle against the Median cavalry. The Median cavalry went ahead and charged the Nabatean general, but to no avail. And now we've got the Massilian cavalry now moving up to be able to support the Nabatean general and just try to get some great flanking charges and get as many kills as they possibly can. The Massilian Thureos, again, you don't need this many units, guys. In a choke point situation like this, you're going to have all of these units are technically fighting, but like all of the units in the back here aren't doing anything, and they've realized this, so they're going to go ahead and fall back a unit of Thorax swordsmen. But yeah, this unit was just getting tired. He's now winded, or no, I'm sorry, he's not winded, but he was getting more and more tired as the fight progressed. And it's just going to be a waste of a unit, basically. A waste of the freshness of a unit. And this tower is getting a lot of kills on those that wish to defend it. Having been taken over by the attackers, they have placed their own archers inside of the tower. And now they're going to go ahead and fire into the troops and just try to do as much damage as possible. We've got the Massilian cavalry moving in. We got archers quickly moving up on the walls to be able to try and fire down at their opponents. But yeah, we got the cavalry quickly moving in to be able to look for a good opportunity to be able to get some kills. Maybe take out this Median cavalry and free up some space so they can move into the settlement and hopefully get some flanking charges against their opponent. We've got the general, the Silver Shield swordsman, 27 kills so far. No men lost fighting against the Armored Desert Hoplites. We got a battle of the elites. We got Armored Desert Hoplites holding off against these Thorax swordsmen, which have somehow completely surrounded them. Good old Rome 2 glitchiness. We've got some nearby archers, I believe, firing into these men, trying to support their units holding so valiantly at the choke points, and hopefully it'll be enough to be able to allow these desert hoplites to be able to break them, which it looks like it is. It's going to allow these desert hoplites the opportunity to break this unit and hold this point and get rid of one more unit that they no longer have to deal with. These archers do still have ammo, 91 kills, 76 kills, and they have a great shot on the shield side and on the flank of these thorax swordsmen while they're fighting against the Egyptian thorax swordsmen as well. We got the Massilian Thero spears firing into the silver shield swordsmen with 76 kills. Actually, while their back is turned, getting a lot of great kills, causing them to waver. I would probably waver and most likely run as well if giant spears were going into my back, but my general was telling me to continue to face my back towards my enemy and face my front towards an enemy cav unit that could move in as well. The Massilian cavalry is going to go ahead and move all the way off to the edge of the map. The Nabatean general is going to go ahead and flank and charge that unit of the thorax swordsmen, keep them from moving into the fray, and ultimately seal their fate. But they are actually starting to take a lot of fire from these Syrian heavy archers. They're going to try to quickly get out of there, but they are still in range. Are they going to be able to get out in time before they take too much damage, or are they going to continue to take archer fire? It looks like they're going to get out, but the tower is still going to fire at them. They need to get into a better position to be able to potentially get in and take out some of these Syrian heavy archers. There is an opportunity, though, to be able to get through this gap over here and get into the backs of these archers. There's nothing defending this hole. Some of these archers still have ammo, so this could be a huge move for the Nabatean general. The Egyptian general, the Egyptian royal thorax swordsman, is quickly trying to move in and keep the general from being able to move and get into these archers, but will he be quick enough? It is going to be a race. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, the cavalry is quickly moving in. We've got the cavalry starting to move in. The royal thorax swordsmen are trying to move in and stop them. They're going to go ahead and get some peel of fire off. But the cavalry is going to successfully get into these archers. We've got the Massilian Thero spears actually utilizing this gap to get in the archers as well. So the cavalry is going to quickly charge in, take out some of these archers. And with the support of the Massilian Thero spears, they should hopefully be able to get out of dodge as well. Hopefully Nabatea can get his general out of there. But a great move from Nabatea. Now he's going to go ahead and charge right into the back of this depleted unit of Silver Shield swordsmen and hopefully seal their fate so that way they can get through their own numbers and get out of there. Save their general if he hasn't died already. Let's look at it. The Armored Desert Hoplites do not say that they've lost their general, so that could be huge. The general is actually going to turn back around and go back into the cavalry, but now the general... What is the general doing? He's going to go back into the cavalry. Is the general dead? The general is not dead yet. He is still fighting valiantly, going into those archers, and now he's going to go ahead and turn around and charge into the flanks of these troops again. Is he going to go ahead and try to get out of there, or is he going to sacrifice himself in order to try to get as many kills as possible? Great move by Egypt, moving over this depleted unit of thorax swordsmen to charge into the Nabatean archers that still have ammo, and somehow we've got a unit of median cavalry. Where did we miss this? A unit of median cavalry that has successfully gotten into the settlement, gotten around to the flank, and now is completely surrounding this front line of thorax swordsmen, causing them to break. We've got a depleted unit of thorax swordsmen charging into the Nabatean heavy archers, which are going to try to pull back, but not without taking losses. We've got the Scorpion crew trying to block off these troops, and the median cavalry with 163 kills is going to go ahead and continue to cycle charge around these front lines and do as much damage as they possibly can. We've got the Massilian general with 71 men remaining in the fray, charging into some of these archers now, trying to charge into the flank of some of these troops and break as many units as they can. We've got a couple of breaking units, Massilian Thero spear, thorax swordsmen, and mercenary Gallic hunters starting to break as well. Where is this cavalry? He is actually completely surrounding these thorax swordsmen and just doing a lot of damage. These other frontline units are trying to hold off as long as they can, but with the Silver Shield general, the 168 men remaining, or killed, and 125 men remaining. Holy smokes, these archers are going to go ahead and fire right into these thorax swordsmen. With 9 men remaining, they are breaking, but they are going to go ahead and get into these archers. Are they going to be able to kill the archers, or are they going to break? It's a hit or miss. The archers are actually breaking against a unit of 9. The front line over here is breaking. We've got a mass break from the defending forces, and that is going to be the end of the battle. What a battle, guys. I completely missed the Massilian cavalry. I'm assuming they charged in from this gap and just started going around and just playing pinball with all of these units. Let's go ahead and end the replay and look at the kills here. Great job by Gallici Corvi in this battle, and great job by the defenders as well. We've got Raifu having the top amount of kills in this battle with 2,203 kills. We've got Ruvak with the second most kills with 1,908 kills. We've got Nice Rice close behind with 1,906 kills, and Propane with 1,452 kills. Nice Rice doing a great job. 134. We got 107, 120, 105, 177, 172, 135, 152, 156, 101. Ruvak with 126, 102, 186, 178, 152, 137, 1 or I was about to say 19, but 112, 123, 174, 110. Propane getting 106, 136, 106, 170, 107, 114, and Raifu. Great job with the Galatian Road Guard. 264, 105, 190, 140, 211, 160, 107, 125, 138, 161, 128, 109. What a battle, guys. Make sure to stay tuned for part 2, where Rice Enjoyers are going to be on the attack against Gallici Corvi, which are going to be on the defense in the next battle. Again, if you guys liked it, make sure to hit that like button. If you loved it, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you sexy ass motherfuckers in the next battle. Peace.